Chapter 5. The first victory always tastes of loss. Gaziantep, 1965. The air dry, the dust golden, the future yet unwritten. He was 15. He already knew that most adults were foolish, especially men. They believed in luck, in tea-house gossip, in honest bets on the racetrack. But he believed in only one thing: information. That year, everyone was crazy about horse racing. The races on the outskirts of town drew a crowd every Friday. There was a world unto itself. The smell of cheap cologne and sweat, the shouts of bookmakers, crumpled liras in pockets, blind hope in their eyes. He came there with his friend Ali, as if just to watch. But he never just watched. He noticed the girl immediately. Dark hair, a low voice, a smile with a hint of cynicism. Her name was Layla. She worked taking bets in a small booth numbered 7. Men looked at her chest, but he looked into her eyes. And there he saw boredom. She saw it all every day, and she didn't care who won. He started with phrases, tentative, deliberately naive. Then with gifts, pistachios handmade. Soap, jokes that landed. After a couple of weeks, she was waiting for him. A month later, she laughed at his stories. 2 months later, she lay with him in his cousin's room, smoking quietly. Afterward, and asked, "You really think you'll trick the bookmakers?" "I don't think. I've already started." She laughed. But then she helped. It was Layla who told him that the bookmakers in booth 5 would delay updating their racing. Board next week. One of the workers was sick. The board would be updated late by almost half a minute. This meant if you stood nearby and watched the race, you had a head start. Half a minute in horse racing was an eternity. He stood on the slope where he could see the entire track. The first race, the favorite fell on the turn. The crowd below knew nothing yet. He was already running. He placed a bet in booth 5 on the second horse. Not the full amount, 20 liras, but enough. When the board updated, the bets closed. A minute later, the second horse finished first. He received 180 liras. It was a fortune at that time. "See, Layla," he said that evening. "People don't notice when time works against them. And I do." She looked at him not like a boy. Not like a boy anymore. "What if they catch you? Then I'll pretend to be a fool. They respect those here." He repeated the trick 2 more times. Then the scheme was shut down. But by then he already knew another name, another booth, another employee. Layla passed on information and he won. But everything changed when she said, "I'm pregnant." He looked at her like a bet he hadn't calculated. He didn't know what to say, and he remained silent for too long, too coldly. A week later, she disappeared. He never saw her again. He lost 3 times in a row. The first time out of anger, the second out of greed, the third to understand what he felt. The answer was simple: nothing. He realized that emotions were a luxury, love a distraction, vulnerability made one vulnerable. He cut Layla's name from his memory, like deleting code that breaks a program. And he never gambled with his heart again. In the notebook of his victories, there was no entry for this. But in his old wallet, to this day, there remained a faded, yellowed photo of booth number 7. A reminder that the first victory always tasted of loss, and that to take a risk meant to pay. Always.